welcome to the SweetPea and Chickadee YouTube channel. I'm Kimberly, this is episode 30, and today is September 1st. I cannot believe it is September already. It's only a few months till Christmas, but I won't talk about that. This is a crafty podcast where we primarily focus on knitting and crochet, but whatever crafty hobbies we get up to, we throw them into here. I keep saying we because I shared this podcast with my daughter, Brooke, who's not here. And she wasn't here for the last one. Normally she's been doing like, she can get in for every other one. But I was like, Brooke, we have to record. It's been too long. And she's like, she's just so busy. She's junior year of high school. School just started. We've had a crazy month of prepping for school, taking my son to college. Anyways, we'll get into that in a minute. Welcome back to all of the returning viewers. We really appreciate you, and hey to all the new ones. We hope you like what you see, and go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to get notified when we post the next video. You can find us on Instagram at SweetPea Chickadee. You can find me on Ravelry at Karmeni, just my first initial last name. You can find Brooke and her crochet stuff on Ravelry as well at barmeni05. Let's see what else. And you can find Brooke's little crochet account, although she hasn't been updating because she's been so busy, but it is chickadee.crochets on Instagram as well. All show notes and links are down below, as well as an email if you want to go ahead and ask a question, or if I missed something, or you can always comment below as well. So hey everyone, it's been a minute. It's always like that. I feel like I start that every time, so I should just stop saying it's been so long, because it's just how it is. I think we podcasted like the first week of August, or when we got back. It was like the beginning of August. It's now September 1st, so almost a month at least. We took my son back to college. It's always so hard. It's not as hard as the first time. So to all of you sending your freshman college kids off, I feel for you, because that was a rough time. It's not as bad the following years. However, it's still sad and still just, So we dropped him off. He's doing great. Brooke started junior year of high school and crammed with classes, and she's just super busy, but you got me. And I have so many whips. So I was like, Brooke, we have to podcast. I've got so many whips, and if I just keep not podcasting, it's gonna be the longest episode ever, because I don't really have a ton of acquisitions, which is a shocker for me, but hi, we just went to Europe and I spent a ton of money on yarn there, but I have just a ton of whips. So let's just get right into it. Let's just get into faux. I don't really have as much as I should have probably in the last month. Mostly socks that I cranked on my Erlbacher Speedster because I love it, and I'll get more into that later. But I do have my finished cowl. This is the Break in the Tide cowl by Neilan. I love Neilan. I've tested it for her before, like way back in the day. But this is the Break in the Tide cowl. She does have a cowl pattern and a shawl pattern. There's two different ones. And then within the cowl pattern, there are two different sizes. I did the fullest or largest size. And look, I even did my first tassel. It's a little iffy, but I did it. It's so nice. But yes, this yarn is Mace of Skeins, Macy. It's all DK weight. I did one skein of each. I thought I was going to run out, like according to the pattern measurements, I should have run out of one color, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna run out of one color, but it's okay, I'll just swap in the other color. I don't really care, right? No one's gonna notice. And I didn't actually, it was the variegated color, and I used whatever was left over for the tassel. See, it's mostly blue, but I used the leftover bits for this, and and I basically used the entire thing. I still have like 30 grams of the blue, so I did the fuller version. It's nice and long, and this is where it switches to like mostly the variegated color. I love a big squishy cowl. So this is the back, you can see. Like this. This is by Neilan. Let me go ahead and show you. You won't be able to see the tassel because it's really long, but you'll see the fullness. So it's not like overly huge because it's DK weight, right? But it's so nice here. I love this. So it goes down to like past my belly button, the tassel, which I like. I'm really tall, so I like anything that doesn't make me feel huge. So if anything's like too small on me, it makes me feel like I look even bigger than I am. So I don't want that. I'm all about proportion or even like engulfing me because then I feel dainty. I don't know if other tall people feel this way. Yes. So yes, this is a, oh, maybe I should talk about the colors. Mace of Skeins, DK weight. It's her Spade DK base. I don't know if I brought down them. But the colors are Ocean Water. The blue is Ocean Water. This blue is Ocean Water. And this peach blue variegated is called Peach Sunset and Spade DK. A pleasure to knit with. Mace of Skeins. Mace of Skeins. Macy from Mace of Skeins. Oh, good grief. Has great yarn. So, very nice and soft. I love it. This is one of those ones where I wasn't sure. I think the colors look really good with my hair. I wasn't sure. Because I'm not an orange person, even though I bought this yarn. It was just so pretty because Macy does a fantastic job with her yarn dyeing. But I'm not an orange person because I have red hair. So I've been like, you know, I don't know, brought up to believe that I have to stay away from orange because then it'll make my hair look orange. And I used to hate when the kids would call it, say I have orange hair. And then one kid like proved it to me. And I was like, I don't have orange hair, red hair, there's no orange hair. And then they're like, let's look at an orange crown and a red crown. And which one is it closer to? And I almost cried because it was true. Anyways, kids are mean. But that guy is probably like some politician somewhere. He's really good at persuading, or some consultant or car salesman or something, I don't know. But yeah, so this is great. I really, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not. I like it. What do you guys think? Is it okay with my hair? Does it not make my hair look orange? I know it looks, what do you call it? Complements my hair, I think. Oh, the blue does. Blue's good with red. Anyways, let me know. If not, I'll just gift it. Because I knew I wanted this to be this. I know it's beautiful. What do you guys think? Okay. Now, I just want more reasons to show off my tassel. My first one. It was so nice. And they're actually quite easy and fun to make. You guys should try them if you need to do tassels. I don't want to put them on everything. Okay, so now I'm getting into socks. So first I'll do these two. So I have shown, so I have an Erlbacher Gerhardt Speedster, just got end of June. I already had an antique Gerhardt, like a 1924. So but I just started learning on that. So I was at least a little bit like knowledgeable when it comes to like terminology and like what it's supposed to do. At least for twos. I hadn't like tried out heels and toes and stuff like that until I got my Speedster. So I've been playing around with it, and I showed you before how I had Patons Croix. I did a heel tab shorty that I learned off of Jamie Mayfield's tutorial on YouTube. I'll link that below. So I did that with Patons Croix, which is a nice thick yarn. I love them. They are amazing. So then I want to try them on some yarnable yarn, or so like regular sock yarn, instead of like the Patons Croix, which are thick and sturdy, but they were so amazing. So I did it with my yarnable. So last time I told you guys I tried this. I don't know if I did the heel tab. I think I just did shorty socks. And they were too long, and so I gave them to Brooke. And I was sad because the yarn was so beautiful, but I literally had enough, like barely enough to do these shorty socks. So for me, yay. So they fit me, but then I was like, they're a little short. Like even the heel tab, and I was like, what did I do different? So they fit me, and they're not falling off, but they're not like as secure, right? So they're great for around the house and that sort of thing. And I love them. This is the Yarnable colorway Mermazing. Oh, isn't that so pretty? I love them. So then I'm like, okay, so obviously I need to do, and then I've heard about this deep heel, because I did a standard wrap heel. I heard about this deep heel, and then when I actually went back and watched Jamie Mayfield's tutorial, it's actually a deep heel you're supposed to do, and I just skipped over that and did a regular heel with my Patons Croix. It was okay from Patons Croix yarn because it was thicker yarn, so it gave me a wider gauge anyway. So that's why those fit so great with that style of heel. So I'm like, oh, I was supposed to do the deep heel with these. Okay, I get it. So then my next set, I did completely to pattern from Jamie Mayfield's tutorial. And so then I get these. Oops. So you can see the difference. Clearly, it's even the same base, yarn base, right? So clearly these look way more sturdy like up at the back of my leg. So this is also yarnable. Did I bring that over? Nope. I'll put below which one this one is. This is one of like previous months, spring maybe. Anyways. But I did everything to pattern. So I did the deep heel with this one, which makes it come up a little higher, which are great. Now they're almost too long for me, not long enough for Brooke. They basically just fit me. And you know, when you wear them for a minute, they're going to get like bigger and stretched out. So they fit me fine. I'm totally going to keep them. But it's because I did not take into account the deeper heel, the added foot length it adds down here when I was doing my calculations for how much to crank my foot. Does that make sense? So like normally I gauge like 2 inches for my heel. And then so what I do is I gauge about 2 inches for my heel, 2 inches for my toe, and then whatever is left of my foot measurement, I multiply that by my gauge of row gauge. So I didn't take into account that this heel would be bigger because it's a wider heel. It's a deep heel, so you basically do more rows. So it adds into the foot bed. Anyways, I didn't take that into account, which is why it was a titch long. Only barely. Like I would say like basically the 3 or 4 rows I added was just what it needed. So next time I do it, I'm going to take that into account. I'm going to measure this so I know how wide the deep heel is, but that's how it works with these. You have to just kind of try them out and see. They're still wearable. I love them. And so I'm going to keep them like this. Aren't they so pretty? I still have enough yarn to do another pair of shorty socks. I might make some for my mom. Mom, do you want a pair like this? Or and Brooke really likes light pink. Teenage kids. I'm like, hey, Brooke. She's like, oh, those are nice. I'm like, oh, do you want a pair? And she's like, I'm like, oh, so you like them but not enough to wear them on your feet? I don't know about that girl. But yes, I like these. Okay, so this is the difference. I just like showing, you know, the difference. Two different tries go. Now, getting into my husband's socks. So I just love, okay. I literally make these in like a sit down session, like a couple hours, and then I'm done. And I can do the Kitchener. And it's great. So I learned CSM Karen. I don't think I have that in my order. I'm gonna put it right down below. She's great. I follow her on Instagram, and she's even got a YouTube, and she does great tutorials for circular sock machine. So I really wanted my husband to have rib socks because he's got like a size 15 foot, but rather dainty ankles. I don't know how a 6'3" man has dainty ankles, but he does. And so I want them to hug his foot more. So I thought a ribbed sock would be a lot better, especially for some of this yarn I have. Well, I wasn't quite at the time secure enough or like bold enough to try the ribber. Because the ribber setup, the ribber arm, and then all the dials you put on there for the, anyways, the ribber is scary. Because people say it's so hard and they want to like throw things. And I'm like, I don't really feel like throwing things today. So I saw CSM Karen, or just Karen, I'm sure her name is, had this mock rib pattern. And she had it as a shorty pattern. And I didn't see, she probably does have one longer, but I didn't see that she did. But it was really easy to adapt. So I just adapted it for a longer sock. Because my husband, I'm putting socks on sock blockers if you can't tell. My husband wears his socks with his suits. And he loves them. He loves wearing his hand-knitted socks. He's very knit-worthy. He loves them so much. He loves getting them. He's so happy about them. Makes me want to knit more of them or crank more of them for him. So I decided to try this mock rib sock for Damon until I could figure out the ribber. So these are the mock rib. So you can see it. It's also a yarnable colorway. This is the Celtic Fairy colorway. So it's mock rib all the way around here. It's the same all the way here. I did a hung hem, and then I made it just on top of the foot, obviously, for here. Now, also deep heel for him for this one. Now, the way you do a mock rib is you basically just remove a needle. So by removing a needle, you're almost like creating a yarn over, kind of, that you then drop. Is how I can kind of explain it. So you can't really, yeah. So you can see how it's like a dropped, you know what I mean? So at first I was like, I mean, these would be great for me, but I don't know about for him. I mean, he loved them. He was running for the suits and he thought they were great. But he was like, my leg hair is kind of poked through. So that was his way of saying, he didn't really like his leg hairs poking through with his suit up here. But yeah, and I had this much left over. I had quite a bit left over. Like, look how thick that is. And so I was like, oh, I can make these even longer because I want them as long as possible because he uses like his shirt stays and clips them to hold them up for his suits. So yeah, so we already wore these and I've washed them. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to try the rubber. Here's this little story. I'm going to try the rubber. I watched Steve Ashton's video, the magic video that everyone says as soon as you watch it, you'll understand the rubber. And it totally broke everything down. I came downstairs because he was about to go on another work trip and I wanted to make him another pair of socks. And I'm looking at my machine right now. I put the rubber on, I got everything hooked up, everything was going great until like I had a little bit of a tension with my yarn and all of a sudden it kind of like something moved and then all kind of, I'm like, okay, it's all right, my first little. So I took everything apart and I was like, okay, why? And then it wouldn't work properly. I'm like, why is it not timing? What's going on here? What happened? Like I had everything working fine. And I was like trying to do all the adjustments. I'm like, there's another adjustment I'm not seeing. And so I just zoomed in on one of Steve Ashton's videos of the top. I can't see the top of the river. Someone show me the top of the river. And I'm like, what? I don't have that knob. Oh my gosh. And then I had this little piece of a knob. I'll show a picture here that I found in the box. And that was supposed to go there. And that was the adjustment screw that was sheared completely off. And I had not known because I had not used rubber yet. And when I unboxed it, I had no idea what rubber was supposed to even look like. So I would not even have known that that was not supposed to look like that. So no, and I'm only telling this story because Erlbacher Gehart is like the most amazing company ever. And I knew they were before. So as soon as I realized that bolt was completely sheared off and I was like, oh my gosh, I definitely need a new screw obviously, but like, how do I even get this one out? Like, how do I get my dial off? I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna email them. They're a great company. I wasn't even a little bit nervous because I got the machine in June and it's now end of August when I was emailing, like literally 2 days ago. And so I emailed them like, hey, here's pictures of what I see. I figured out what was going on with my rubber. I need a new screw, but like, what do I do next? Like, please tell me what you want me to try doing next. And within and it was at the end of the day when I emailed them. And within like less than an hour, Kim had already emailed me back, the one that does all the emailing and contact and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, they must have taken a hit in the box, which I was surprised because if you've ever seen the way the box comes, it is super packed, like super well packaged and like, in this wooden box. And I was surprised anything could even get damaged in there. But they're like, okay, we're going to send you, what rubber dial is it? We're going to send you a whole new arm and then we're going to send you a replacement or a return label for you to send back the original one so because they can still use the other pieces. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then the very next day I had a shipping notification that they're shipping my new, not even just the screw, I'm getting a whole new rubber arm and the rubber dial that was stuck on there. Like a whole new setup. So all that to say, Erlbacher Gehart company is amazing, super quick and just great to work with. And it should be here in a couple days. That was really amazing. So then I couldn't make him rib socks that night anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make him a Stockinette sock and just see, how well that holds up. So I'll include the picture here because he's actually wearing them today. He sent me a picture. I'll put that picture in there as well. This is just a Stockinette hung hem 9-inch leg, including the cuff. Regular heel this time, not a deep heel, and just a wrapped toe. So regular wrapped heel and toe on my 64 cylinder. And yeah, this is the Storm Watch colorway from Yarnable. I think that was like, I don't know, some kind of spring, like April or something. But yeah, I love that because he told me he wanted to wear his gray suit and purple tie. I'm like, perfect, I have the yarn. So I went and made, so here's a picture of him wearing them today. He loves them. So those actually turned out really great, just Stockinette. So I don't even think I need to have rubber, but like some yarn are a little more fine. I think that would definitely help. But I'll see how it wore out today with him. He'll tell me how it went. Yeah, so those are the socks. I have like 4 pairs. And I literally made those socks with Stockinette socks. Now that I can do like a Stockinette socks, those were fast. I did those right after dinner in a couple hours. And so CSM Love Karen, CSM something. So Karen actually on her mock rib shorty tutorial video, at the very end, she tells you how to Kitchener. And I was like, oh, I know how to Kitchener. I'm like, oh, she's got a new technique. Let me just see. Oh my gosh. It is so much faster. I'm so glad I watched that part because I've been putting it back on needles. So I have the waist yarn, I put my needles back on it and then Kitchener off the needles. You don't even have to put needles on. You can Kitchener right from the scrap yarn and then pull the scrap yarn out. It's amazing. You guys, any of my other like, you know, circular sock machine people need to like check that out because that was super fast. That like was life changing a little bit. Like, cause like the Kitchener stitch was taking a minute. So I had to put it back on needles, then do it. You just do it right from the scrap yarn. It's so easy. And I think it looks better. Oh my gosh, my dog is barking, y'all. I'm sure you guys have heard it. I am so sorry. And I always try to take out the extra sound on the videos, the background sound, because my air conditioner will kick on and off. And so I try to take that out, but it never takes out the dog barking. Hello, that's background sound. But yeah, and I'm like downstairs and the dog's barking upstairs. She's a big dog. The one that's barking is a Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd mix. So she's loud. Okay. I think that's it for my foes so far. Yes, yay. Okay, now whips. Okay, grab a drink, grab some wine maybe if it's late enough in the day. I mean, I don't judge. Grab whatever you want. But I have my water. I'll probably be taking water breaks to like moisten my mouth because this is gonna be a minute. Okay. First. I'm just gonna go right down my list and then hopefully I think I wrote down everything. Okay, the Vega cardigan. So my Vega cardigan is right here. So what happened was, why I have a ton of whips, let's start with that, is that I had like what, 5, 6 whips that I was currently working on. And most of them were like, I got to a point where, I'm sorry, I'm bumping the camera. I was like, they were all stressing me out. The patterns were great. The knitting was great. It was where I was at in the patterns were stressing me out. And I just did, I don't want my knitting to stress me out. That's the whole point of knitting, right? So I'm like, okay, no, I wasn't feeling any joy in all my knits. I'm like, I'm casting on a whole bunch of new things. So I cast on like 5 new things. But I've since then picked up a couple of my older ones. Because I've now like, thought it through in my head what I wanted to do while I was knitting on new things and having fun. So my Vega cardigan, this is by Kajsa Vuorela, and it's Torndals Froon on Instagram. I probably butchered all of that. I'm really sorry. I'm just American, so sorry. We don't know how to pronounce things. Okay, so here's what I have so far. Here's my Vega. It's like a Vega jacket. It's not really a cardigan because it's this like bulky, chunky yarn, so it's a jacket. I think she labels it as more like a jacket. Like I plan on putting, you can put buttons on this, but I plan on putting what the heck? Okay, I cannot think. What the heck are those called? I do this every episode. You guys are all screaming at me. Okay, they're not buttons, but they're like little knobby things. I just had it in my head. Like a little, oh, okay. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So yeah, here I got one sleeve done. I don't know if I'm in love with this, how short the cuff is. I stopped it because it's the right length that it was calling for and it fits me perfect. And I now know I do not want anything too long on my arms. But I don't know, we'll see. Fits me great though. I love the fit. I love this is like, so you start off, it's paper pattern. I don't want to get too into it, but you start off with this folded collar and I love it. So squishy. I just finally, this is where I'd stopped. Like I had put the second sleeve on the needles, but hadn't like cast on any of the new yarn, but now I have. So that's where, and I've started like, I got a couple decreases in there. Wait, where's my decreases? Right there. I got a couple. But yeah, so this is the little motif. It's intarsia technically, but I mean, it's really just mosaic color work and I just dropped, I mean, I guess it's intarsia because you dropped the yarn, but it's all like, I don't know. But when you guys saw this last, is I was almost completely through here. And then what I did was I was not thrilled with my tension. I was pulling the green way too tight. So I ripped completely back to the collar and re-knit. So this is, so I've done a lot since you guys have seen it last. It's supposed to be a cropped cardigan. However, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it kind of cropped, but not, I'm tall. So it needs to hit me at the hips. So I guess not cropped at all. So I knew I was going to add length. I didn't have to add length to the arms. The arms are great. But I really like this. So this is low contrast mosaic. And I'll show a picture here of what like the high contrast looks like, the original. But I really like this. All right, so the yarn, which is kind of going into my acquisitions. I had purchased of this Plymouth Chunky. I'll show you a band in a minute. This is like the taupe colorway, which I love. Oh, it's so soft. I purchased 7 skeins of this back like last year. I cast this on last Halloween, which is why every stitch marker on here is Halloween because I cast it on last October. I purchased 7 skeins of this, and I only needed 6 based off of the listing. But then I was like, well, okay, 7, because obviously I was gonna lengthen. I don't know why I didn't think, you know, a chunky weight yarn, it's not gonna go very far, right? It's less the yardage. And it's almost a whole skein for a sleeve. And I was like, oh my gosh, I only have 2 skeins left and I have a whole sleeve left and there's no way this is long enough. And I have to go back and do the button band, right? And I can't do the button band until I'm done with the length. So I have to like guess how much I have left. And I saw how people use, because I thought I was gonna run out of this almost. I have like 60 grams left of this Space Cadet yarn. I was shocked. So I was like, well, I could use Space Cadet for something, but I didn't want it to look like I ran out of yarn. You know what I mean? And I don't mind doing that on some things, but this thing I was like, no, this is my nice, cozy, really nice jacket, and I want it to look just like the picture. And I was like, no, I want it to all be, that's like the only part that was going to be that color. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just see all the different, you know, ways I can do this. I'm like, well, we'll just see, right? That's why it stressed me out. So I stopped. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't even to the point where I was running out of yarn. I just knew I was going to run out of yarn and I hadn't thought about what I was going to do. So it stressed me out. So I had to put it aside. Then I realized, okay, this is a commercial yarn. It's Plymouth Yarn Co., right? I mean, their dye lots can't be too far off, right? And so I looked, and I know I bought all the ones of this color last year, but maybe they still make this color. Maybe it's a normal color. So I looked at my local yarn store, Needles in the Haymarket, looked on their online shop, and they had 5 skeins of this left. And I was like, oh, they got back more. And they probably have had it for a long time because I bought them out last year. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, well, so I went to the store yesterday, brought one of my original skeins with me, just to kind of hold them up to next to each other to see if they match. And they're so, like, if they don't match, then they're super close. And I figured even if they didn't, like, use like a shade or darker or lighter, I would just use it for the button band and the ribbing and it'll look like it's on purpose, right? Okay, so we'll get into the yarn. The taupe yarn is Plymouth Select Chunky Merino Superwash. It is, and this is in a taupe colorway, color 101. So soft, so squishy. Like, I have used Plymouth Homestead for my Felix cardigan. It's soft yet rustic, very like on the rustic, like it feels scratchy, but it doesn't bother me when I wear it, which is like I think the very most borderline, because normally I'm super sensitive. This is like soft, so this is nice. And then my green yarn is, I think I have I'm trying to give you, because I had to separate these into 250 grams so I can use them for 2 different arms. This is Space Cadet yarn. It was gifted to me by my friend Amanda. Hi Amanda, I'm using it. Space Cadet in the Alara base, which is their bulky weight, and it's Century Farm colorway. So this is categorized as bulky, the other one is chunky. I figured they were kind of the same, but really this green yarn is a tad bit chunkier than my chunky yarn. That. So when I was doing the mosaic, it's a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna steam this out when I'm done. It's gonna look so, I love it so much. This is like the whole shoulder. So excited about it. Like the kind of boxy fit was totally what I was going for. Toggles. Toggles, right? Isn't that what they're called? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wasn't gonna put buttons. Let's carry back. Toggles. Yes, I was gonna put wooden, like 1 or 2 wooden toggles up here, and then, because I think that's what she has on like her, I see people put buttons on there, but on her like original sample, it has these toggle, or at least 1 toggle. Oh my gosh. Pray for me, guys. We're at the very beginning. All right, but I love this so much. And I want to wear this to Rhinebeck, because guess what? I'm going to Rhinebeck. So I wasn't sure I was going to go. My friends of mine were going. They're like, come with us. Scrappy Angel, Whiskers and Stitches. But I was like, I don't know, because I just went on a trip to Europe. Should I go? And I was talking to my husband. So of course I didn't tell my husband they wanted me to go. And I was like, hey, Damon, so like, my friends, they're going to Rhinebeck. And he's like, oh, you're going? I was like, well, I mean, we just went to Europe and I spent a ton of money on yarn there. And I'll say that I won't buy yarn, a lot of yarn at Rhinebeck, but we know what's going to happen. He's like, yeah, go. Why are you even? And he wants me to bring back, because they have, he's like, you have to go so you can bring me back more of that vodka, because they had like this whole, one of their like buildings had food and other items like soaps and jerky and stuff, vendors there. So I actually got Damon this great, it's like a potato vodka and potato whiskey they had for like a New York distillery or something that was making this. And so I got him some for Christmas. So it was really cool. Anyways, he wants more of it apparently. So going to Rhinebeck. So this was going to be one of my sweaters. My other sweater is my Striga cardigan, because whew, that took some time. And I'm going to show that off. My Striga cardigan by Andrea Mowry. That's going to be one of my sweaters. Both my sweaters are cardigans, but we're also going to Woolen Folk. So there's a Friday event. There's a bunch of events on Fridays, because Rhinebeck is Saturday and Sunday. There's a bunch of events around there. We went to Indigo and Tangle last year. This year we're going to go to Woolen Folk. So you need a sweater technically for all 3 days. So I've got my street cardigan, which is like a light cardigan. This cardigan, which is super heavy, but I'll just wear a tank top underneath and just wear it for a little bit and throw it off. And then I've got some ideas for my third. That was part of my stress for my whips. But yes, don't we love it? I'm so excited about this. All right. So now that I've got that back on, so what I did was I bought more yarn. Like I said, I was only going to get like 2 more skeins, just make, so I want to make it as long as I want. I can go back and fix the cuffs and add more if I want to, you know. But then I like panicked when I was there and bought 3. I'm like, I don't know, because now I'm like paranoid. So I got 3 new skeins, and I figured like this is a great color to have an extra one of. Like this will go with a lot of things. So, and it's not really, it's very affordable. Like what was this? $16. So, okay. So that was only, oh my gosh, that was whip number 1. I talked about that for a while. Okay, that had a lot of, that's like a 2020. I was like, what year is this? 2021 whip. Cast that on. Oh, and that is in my, so you can see even Halloween. This is in my Scrappy Angel Janet tote. It's the droids. We can see it, droids. Halloween. Okay. Number 1. Number 2. I think this one. Another Janet tote. This is my very first one I ever got. Isn't that cool? It's like horses. Did I say Scrappy Angel before? This is Scrappy Angel Janet tote. I love these. Blankets, sweaters. I mean, because like my sweaters, I have a ton of different skeins, and I don't like to have anything stuffed in something. And this is always great because I can always put more things in there, like other project bags when I'm carrying it around, and it's got a great see-through pocket. I have a coupon code for Scrappy Angel always. That's like 10% off. Go check it out below if you ever want to shop her shop. All right, so my Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones. I believe, right? Oh, I didn't write that down. Kay Jones, I believe. If not, I'll correct myself. So I'm still working on this. It's like a 2020 cast on, I believe. Now, this is pure scraps, but I've actually made some progress. Picked it back up. You get me all situated here. Okay. So the pattern is the Fisherman's Rib blanket. Okay. The pattern calls for and looks beautiful with one solid color as the background, as color one throughout. She has it as like a bear color, like a ivory. It's really pretty. And then as your second color, because you're holding fingering weight double, is scraps. So it looks like very watercolor-like as it brings in the other color. It's really pretty. But when it was a 2020, it was during lockdown when I started this. I wasn't buying any more yarn. And I wanted to use up what I had. So I just pulled yarn from my stash that I had. And so I'm using like main skein, like whole skeins, or like scraps of mostly whole skeins as color one, and color two are like minis, or like little bits and bobs I have. So you'll be able to see, this is where I started. So the green was the main color, then this like yellow variegated, and then like this blue and purple variegated. And I just switched, I think, what are the two I got going on right now? Oh yes, this is the leftovers from my husband's socks. I had a lot more than this. And what was this? One from Canada, Ancient Arts. And then this is like a row one mini. I'm holding together right now. And I already got my next mostly main color, like, so it'll go from this color to this color. And this is Shalimar yarns. So yeah, it's just a great, like, very squishy. So it's slow going because it's Fisherman's Rib. So you're doing it a row twice essentially. And it's on only like what, US 6? I think it's a US 6 4.0 millimeter, my Chagoose. So it's kind of slow going, but it's very squishy, which I like. Very heavy duty. So this is where I was last time I showed, down there at that Vote stitch marker. And this is what I got so far. So I would say it's about half. Now, everyone else would probably say this is like 3/4 because I'm tall. I'm measuring, I want it to be down over my feet, and I want it to come up to like here, like when I'm being cozy. So it's about half, I would say. So I still got quite a bit to go. But with this blanket, I won't pick it up for like months, and then I'll come back to it later. It's like my blanket projects are all like that. They're kind of like, unless it's like an advent blanket, it just takes time. And I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I'd like to have the blankets, so it'd be nice if they went faster. But, all right, so that's the Bits and Bobs blanket. Next up, my Arabian Tales blanket. Speaking of blankets, that's taking me forever. I mean, I just cast this one on like January, didn't I? Oh, and another Scrappy Angel Janet tote. This one's Harry Potter. Okay, so I am using, for my Arabian Tales. Now, this is technically, okay, the Arabian Tales by Tashashu Gordon. It is technically a pattern for a shawl, you'll see what I'm saying. Do I still have, oh yeah, I do. Okay. So I've actually done quite a bit. I think last time I showed this, I was on the third row. I don't know, you guys would know. I think I was on like row 3 or 2, but I've finished 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, here's the start. So I think I was in row like 3. Well, I finished row 3, now I'm on row 5. I finished 3, 4, and now I'm on 5. So here, I still have a needle in. So now what I've been doing is I notice if I start the next one, it's easier for me to pick it up because I'm like, oh, I've already started. So I'll grab it more often. I'm about trying to grab things more often. Make it easy. All right, so here's all the different, I call them, I was calling them mermaid tails, but really mermaid fins. But then my friend Holly from Whiskers and Stitches said it looked like fox faces, and I totally agree. So here's all, now these are using, I had got the Chelsea Luxe Advents the sparkle base in 2019 and then again in 2021. And the 2019 one I had not done anything with, so I still had it. And then I got it last year. I got the next one last year. And I'm like, I want to do something amazing. I got sparkle base again, so I could use it for like one giant project, and this is what I chose. So I took the shawl pattern, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how the shawl is supposed to work up. I got that to make it, and I made it into a blanket, so I tripled it widthwise. And it's very slow going because each one of these box faces takes like 45 minutes. So it's gonna be a minute, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to show you all the different colors. I've now been through every single color in both advents once. That was my original goal, was to go through all 48, 50 colors once. And then I can just start throwing them in whenever I want to. And I'm using, I bought Signature Needle Arts needles specifically for this project. So nice and sharp and not long because I need them kind of long. It's all pretty. All right, so the next color this is the color that's going to go right here on top of this one. So what you do is you do like this side, then you kind of merge them together. But yeah, it takes a while, and the back looks like a mess, but it's not. So it looks like a big mess, but I'm doing the weave and sieve-in method. So these are all woven in. I just need to trim them after I block it. So these are all woven in. The only thing that's not woven in are maybe the end pieces. And I've been trying to stop, not this end, I think the other end. I went back and I wove those in one time. So every now and then I'll just weave those side ones in, but all the back ones are woven in, which is great. So yeah. So this is what I've been working on. I actually made quite a bit of progress. So now I'm on row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm telling you, it's slow going, but I haven't also picked this up in like a long time. But then I busted out like a row and a half. So that's how it goes with blankets with me. So I'll be busy, and then I'll want to work on them, and then I'll be busy again. But hopefully, I had so much Advent knitting last year, and I only got one real main Advent this year, which is Hedgehog Fibers. I'm so excited. I got their Advent, super excited about that. I don't know what I'm gonna knit with it yet. And then I have a couple like sock ones, Advents. But like I had like 3 main like regular Advents last year. So this year I only have 1 so far. So hopefully I'll be able to have more time to work on this and like when it's holiday knitting. All right, my next whip was another one that was stressing me out, but now I've just realized what I'm gonna do. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so this is my stripey. Oh my gosh, I just like love these colors. This is the His Dark Materials mini skein set by Skeincocaine. It's a worsted weight mini skein set. And I just love these colors together. Now, I should have looked at a hat pattern. Or like a slouchy hat pattern that I know I would fit my head. Because this is not, I only cast on 80 stitches, I believe. Or 80 something. Or maybe I should have went up a needle size, but I really like this fabric it's creating. So I think I want to keep this needle size, which is it a 8? No, it's a 6, 4 millimeter. It's not wide enough. Like I'm making it long and slouchy, but it's too tight. Like it would fit my head, but it looks like it's tight and it feels a little bit tighter than normal. And if it's gonna be slouchy, it's like, it's, you know, close to my head too much and it's just gonna like look weird. So what I'm gonna do is, and I've already cut all these because they're stripes. What I'm gonna do though is, I've already calculated this out. Because I just started doing decreases. I'm gonna rip the whole thing out. Because I love this so much and I want it to be a hat. Because look, wouldn't it look nice? I'm gonna rip the whole thing out. I'm going to increase my stitch count based off of a hat pattern. And that I already own. Then I'm going to do the same pattern though, but I'm going to decrease the rows because I don't want to have to add in. I mean, I can add in new yarn because it would run out, right? So if I increase stitches, it's not gonna, I don't want to add new yarn. I'm going to just decrease the rows. So I have 6 rows per color. I'm just gonna make it 5 rows per color and see how that looks. I think it'll look great. It should look still fine. It won't look too thin, and it'll be wider, which is what I want. And it's too long. It can be shorter. You know what I'm saying? So isn't that so pretty though? Oh my gosh, I can't wait I need to make this. And the yarn is so soft and great. Skeincocaine. And I think I'm totally gonna buy another mini skein set because I want to make fingerless gloves to match for sure. This is still in my Deli Q bag. This is a messenger tote. I looked it up, or a messenger bag. It's like a cross shoulder, crossbody. I think you can wear on your back, but you can also change the directions of like which side you clip it on, and you can wear it on your front, which is what that's all I did in Europe, because it was like I wore it on our front and I carried everybody's like wallets and everything in my knitting and anything we needed in here. And I'll definitely bring this to Rhinebeck. So it'll be great to have like my knitting right there. Also like my payments and everything right here. And then I'll be carrying like a Janet tote or something, a Scrappy Angel bag to put all my purchases in. But yes, so that's, and I still have, like with all of this, I still have quite a bit of each. I mean, it's not a ton, but like look how long that hat is. Doesn't need to be that. I mean, it can be slouchy without being quite that long. So now I just need to do that. I just need to pull it out and restart, and it was a joy to knit. That yarn is so soft, so it will not be bothersome to do that. Okay, my Musselburgh, which is, at first it was like, this thing is never ending. Oh, I just bumped it. Sorry, guys. It's never ending, even though I just cast it on when we were in Europe, so it's only been a couple months. But this, and then you get to that part in Musselburgh, you're like, oh my gosh, it's never going to end. You're like, oh, never mind, I'm at decreases. Okay, so the difference with this one, let me just say, let me show it to you first. Oh my goodness, this is for Brooke. Isn't that pretty? This is Wild Hair Fiber, which is a local to me. I bought this at Maryland Sheep and Wool. And it's part of their Ukraine like donation yarn, and it is her pinnacle fingering base, and the colorway is Sunflower in 7525. It's Sunflower. Isn't that pretty? And Brooke's favorite flower, Sunflower, so I bought it thinking she might want something in it, and as soon as I showed it to her when I got home, she's like, oh, is that for me? I was like, yes. And then she wanted a Musselburgh in it. So I'm like, oh, perfect. And look how that is cool. That's so cool, that swirly stripe. She loves it. Last time I showed, I was down here. Whiskers and Stitches stitch marker. I was right here, and I've knit all the way. And look at that, decreases. I finally got to decreases. Now, normally, I have this much yarn left. Normally, what I do with my Musselburgh is I want to use the entire skein of yarn. So what I do is I do my increases, measure how much the difference was. You have to measure yarn at the beginning. Do your increases, measure again, right? That's how much your decreases are going to take. You knit until you get that much left over, and then you just do your decreases. I always leave like a gram or two as like a, you know, a safety. Now, I know that I can't really do that with this one because it's a very light fingering, and I know that because I've done it before. So I had a really light fingering I was making for my nephew. I think it was my 4th Musselburgh. I think this is my 5th. And so I did the same thing. I knit until I was out of yarn. And that was like it was so long because it's more yardage. It's a thinner fingering. It was basically, he could double it up and it still be slouchy, which actually worked great for him because he likes a slouchy. That's what he likes. This way he can double it up and still have it slouchy. So it worked out. So for this one, I went until I measured. I followed pattern on this. I think it's so long. I think I went over the measurement. Like I didn't catch it in time. But, and now I'm doing decreases. So I will have a little bit more left over than I normally do, but that's okay. This would be great for like heels and toes or something for a sock or something, or among my blankets. But yes, isn't that pretty? Musselburgh hat by Isola Teague. And if you don't know what a Musselburgh hat is, it's got a top. I'm going to end another top. You're going to fold it within itself and basically double it up. So you have fingering weight doubled. So a DK weight, and then it's long, so you can also fold it up over your ears, which makes it like a 4 times, you know, around your ears, which is nice. This will be Brooke's first Musselburgh. She also wants another one, in one of the my Mace of Skeins colorways I have, one of her Halloween colors that I've saved for her because she says she wants it as a Musselburgh. But I'm gonna wait and see to see how much she wears this one, to see if she gets another Musselburgh. This is my Mountain State Stitches bag. I love the mountains. Oh my gosh. And I bought this bag specifically to put all my Musselburgh hats in because I've made this my 5th one. I love the handle. And it's drawstring. Okay. So that one's almost done. I'm so excited it's almost done. And one of my old one, my 2018 whip, you guys, the socks. I did do a little bit more on it. I'm still on sock 1. I'm not rushing it because, as I told you, it was hurting my hands a little bit. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is where I was at last time I showed you where that stitch marker was. Look at, oh, you guys. Look at that pattern. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look, my nails kind of match it. Isn't that awesome? So as you know, I started this in 2018, messed up around here and like left it there. I was going to frog it and then I realized, no, I love these. I'm making the full length socks because I'm like, if I'm going to do these super cable-y socks, I'm going to make them really nice to go with my boots because it's actually a kind of a thicker fingering, so it's very plush. Now this thing was hurt, like the pattern itself, the charts are very enjoyable to do, right? And you don't do it for very long because it's sock width, right? The thing is, it was hurting my hands, like my knuckles, like my joints, because not only are you doing cabling, 1x1 cabling, which is easy because you're not really using a cable needle, but you're doing it, you know, on your needles. It's purl, so you're purling and then you're cabling, and it's all in. I do mine on 9-inch, it's a tight circumference, and it was hurting. So I could only do like maybe a half a chart repeat to 1 full chart repeat per sitting, and then my hands were sore. But now I've got all the way through the heel flap, and I just started doing the gusset increases or decreases. Sorry, decrease. Like I just started. Like I'm like 2 rows in. You can't even tell. But yeah, and then I'm like, okay, well, so I did the 2 rows of the gusset decreases, and it wasn't hurting my hand as bad because I was only doing the pattern now on the front of the foot, and the back of the foot is all knitting. So at least I think it'll be easier once I pick it up and work on it. It'll be easier on my hands because I'm only doing half the chart repeats that I was doing before. Isn't it pretty? And then I have a whole other sock to go. So this is a very long-term project. All right, so this yarn, I got all this through Knit Crate, 2018 Knit Crate, back when Knit Crate wasn't really dyeing. I think they were just starting to dye their own yarn, but they were mainly using indie dyers to like collaborate with them on boxes. So this yarn is by One String Charm, and it's Frosted Plums. Okay, oh my gosh, it perfectly matches my nails. Isn't that pretty? I love that color. And the pattern is Damson Espalier by Liz Harris. And look, I even have it. It's in the book, the November 2018 sock set, sock box, whatever. So if you have this pattern's in there. Okay. All that was in my Kimberly pouch by Scrappy Angel. It's my pear one, my very favorite one, very first one. Look, I love that I can see everything right there. Okay. Now, this is a new cast on since last time, but it wasn't part of my like 5 whips cast on splurge. This is what kind of added to my stress, and then I had to like feel better and cast on new things. This is also in a Scrappy Angel. I promise I have other bags. I only showed you a couple. They're all Scrappy Angel this time. Oh, I have a couple. Okay. This is one that she may or may not offer in the shop at some point, like on a limited basis. She made this for me for Rhinebeck last year. Isn't that, I mean, look. So I don't think it has a name yet. Maybe like a market tote or something. I love these little pockets right here. This was so handy for putting like my debit card in because they were like not very big. It's not very deep, but deep enough, you know. It's got pockets on the inside. And look at the inside fabric. And then it's even got a hook thing with her angel on it. Okay. So I cast on as this is my original plan to be my third sweater for Rhinebeck. Because my thing is I have cardigans, which are easy. I can wear tank tops underneath. I can take them off. So I'm just worried about how hot it is going to be there. Because I was there last year and it was hot. And I don't see how it's not going to be hot this year. But watch, I say that. So I didn't want it to be hot. So I was like, oh, I'm going to cast on the Rosenlund by Sari Nordlund. My friend Amanda had cast it on. I'm like, actually, I saw my list. I want to cast it on too. And I have yarn I just bought in Europe that I can use for it, which makes me feel really good when you buy yarn that you had no plan for and you use it pretty quickly. I felt really good about it. I was like, yes, and I can use this yarn I just bought. Yay. Okay. I am using, the yarn is Knitting for Olive, which I love. Knitting for Olive is in the cotton merino base. So soft. It's a light fingering. I'm holding it double. This is the Purple Elephant colorway, which looks more gray. It's got a hue of purple in person, like a slight huey tint, but it's like more gray. And this is where I'm at. I got mostly through, almost to the very end of a full chart repeat. Look at that. It's a little stretched out. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? So this is the back panel. That's the middle back panel. Okay, so here's my problem. I clearly was really tight down here at the very beginning. This is where I cast on. The cast on wasn't tight. It was my knitting was tight, I guess. And you can't see it here, but you can see it right here. So like, see how these holes in this honeycomb shape, but no holes right here. It's like this 2 chunk section. See how it's more holy up here and not right there? I don't know what I was doing in this, because it was fine in the beginning, and then right here I pulled tight. But I did not pull tight on this side. What was I doing? This side looks fine, pretty even. This side, look at this. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on. Look. I mean, hello, Slopey McSloperson. What is this? And this is gonna be the top of my back. And so I know I'm gonna have to join it and do shoulders, and I don't want it to be pulling weird. Like it might block okay. But it's a cotton merino. How much? And it didn't block. I mean, when I did my gauge swatch, it really didn't block out too much. It's 70% cotton, 30% merino. So I just don't like it. And I know the charting is fun. There's a lot going on. But it's a sleeveless, like a vest, but you can wear it like as a tank or like a sleeveless shirt. I don't want to put this much work into a fully charted, fully lace, fully cabled garment and have it feel like a weird tug on just like one of my sides. Like I may or may not feel it. You just don't know. And I'm only a full chart repeat in. Not even. So I feel like this is the time where I can totally take it out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this out and restart. I just haven't done it yet. I was hoping I'd be enough to where I can get a better gauge, because this was the stitch that they had us do a gauge swatch on. And my gauge swatches always lie. So I was hoping I had, but this is not 4 inches. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was hoping to see if I should either go up a size, or I want to keep my needle size. I like this fabric. But I'm like, I want to make sure I'm at the side, because this is like the back panel. And I don't know, is that big enough? I guess, yeah, I don't know. This is like the end of my shoulders. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't want it to be humongous, but I do not want it to be tight, because it has to have a tank top underneath it. So I'd rather have it big, but not too big, if you know what I'm saying. So that's really what it is. I know I can just take it off and cast back on, but my thing is, am I keeping the size or not? That's really why I haven't done it. And so this dress, at the same time, my Vega cardigan was stressing me out with the yarn not having enough. And I was like, and then my stripey hat, I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling any of this. I don't want to think about any of it. And then I started getting into this, you guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I even going to finish this in time? Like, yeah, it's a sleeveless, but it is fully charted. Dogs barking upstairs. So this is my problem with all things. And then I panic and then I go up a size and then it's too big. It's because one time I had something that was too tight and I was like, okay, well, I'll wear it someday when I get back into shape. So I still have it. But yeah, so I'm like, if I'm gonna wear it I need it to fit right, because I'm gonna wear it in like 2 months. So, or like a month and a half now. Oh dear. Yeah. So I would basically just finish this just in time. But it's so pretty. And it's a lot of fun, all the charts. And I get to finally bust out my Cocoa Knits magnetic. Because I usually do all my patterns on my phone. But then all the charts sweeping back, I'm like, I need to print it out. So yeah, you can't even really see it because I have it all. I was showing somebody, so I have it. It's like magnets, and so you can see here. I'll show you a picture of the back of it. This isn't really the pattern stuff. Isn't that pretty? Can you guys see? Oh my gosh, isn't that pretty? I totally want to wear that. Try back. But I like how it fits her a little loose, and I want that too. But then I don't want to hang off my shoulders either. Problems. So yeah, that's really where I'm at. I need to pull it out and restart, but do I restart at this size or not? We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys apprised. Okay. All right, now we get into the fact where I just splurge, cast on. I basically was just like not feeling any of my knitting. It was kind of depressing me. I was like, I don't want to knit on anything. I was feeling all kind of like not happy. I kind of depressed. I was like, I don't want it. So I came down to my yarn room and I basically just like found stuff and was like, yes, because I have a bunch of stuff I have bought for things. And so I was trying to find something that would kind of like reset. Something fun. I didn't really have to think too hard about, but it was a little bit engaging. So here's what I came up with. First, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna knit some socks, some vanilla stripey socks, because self-striping, because I don't know why my shirt moves that way. Do I move that way? Okay. My original plan, I was like, oh, I have a sock machine now. Any vanilla socks, I'll just do it on my sock machine, and then I'll focus on like the design type socks for my knitting. Well, and then I haven't done stripey sock, and I forgot how much I love knitting self-striping socks. They're just so much fun to knit. I have them in my Kimberly pouch, my boxes, Scrappy Angel. So I grabbed this stripey Haverland sock set or just sock that I've been wanting to knit. I've had it forever. I think I've had this from like 2019. This is Haverland. It's called Unicorn Taco. It's a little bit more blunt. It's more bright in person. Unicorn Taco. It's in her Solderly sock base, which is a 2-ply fingering, 80/20 superwash BFL and nylon. So it's very like kind of plumpish, but also very like you can feel the BFL, and it feels wonderful to knit with. And then I'm using a contrasting color, this color, which I got as a Rowan Mini, and it's by Crab Apple Yarns, and the colorway is Arlington. It's a great like toffee color. And this is what I'm doing. On my 9-inch circular, I'm just doing a pair of shorty socks. Isn't that awesome? So I started off with that contrast color, 3 cast on, then 2 rows, then started the other main color, and then a fish lips kiss heel, and I just did this in a garter stitch instead to make it a little plumper and give it some texture. And then now I got the Unicorn Taco. So I love these 3 thin stripes and this really wide stripe. Isn't that cool? It's just fun and soothing to knit, and shorty socks go by fast, and I just love self-striping. It's very soothing. This is a Pearl Smith stitch marker. I got the Pearl Smith 12-day Advent last Christmas. So yeah, I just started this like a couple days ago. I don't even work on it that much right now. But every time I need like a kind of soothing, it's just fun. And I love how they're always wound into walls. This is Haverland. Did I show you the front of Haverland? I think it's local to me, like Maryland maybe? Doesn't say. I think she's like Maryland, or maybe around here even. But yeah, I love this color. I've been wanting to knit this, and now I am. Super pretty. So that was a cast on. I'm like, you know what? No, I should always have self-striping socks on my needles for vanilla. Why am I? Because that's another problem I'm having too with my sock machine. Like, I love my sock machine. I want to do all the yarn on there. However, if it's a new yarn or a self-striping yarn, it's like I want to knit with it first with my hands because I want to be able to feel it, and then I can throw on my sock machine. So it's not really going through your hands on the sock machine. Like, you're manipulating it and stuff, but I don't know. I just want to feel it if it's brand new to me and I've never knit with it before. I don't know. So now I'm having a hard time, which is why Yarnable is so great because I have so many of them and I've knit with it before. So it's like, okay, I can throw this on here and make some really great socks. And that's been working out really well. But like, I'm like, oh, I have a ton of self-striping I can throw on my sock machine, but I want to knit with it. So that's kind of my problem with that. Okay. Oh, did I even talk about my sock, you guys? I don't get into too much details. Do you guys want to know more? Okay, so it's a 64 stitch sock, 2x2 cuff. I did it for like 8 rounds, I think. And then I did like 15 stockinette rounds to the fish lips kiss heel. And I'm gonna do my foot, and then I do a rounded wedge toe. And to get these really great stripes is that for the toffee color, as soon as I cast on the pink, I did a knit row. You do a knit row of the pink and then go back into pattern, and it goes right back into pattern, and you don't have the pro bumps. Cool, huh? I think that's it. On my 9-inch circulars. Size US 1, 2.25 millimeter. That's it. I think that's it. Just regular shorty sock pattern. Super shorty, because I only did like 15 row legs, so it's like super short, which I like. Okay, and then another cast on, which wasn't really one of my, like, I just need a reset. It was more of a, I need to get this done before Christmas. That was this one. I knew I needed to do it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. That way it's on, I'll just pick it up whenever I want to, and then I won't be stressed that I'm not doing it. This is in my, this is an Aran bag by Scrappy Angel. It's got this faux leather bottom, wireframe top. No handles though, but it's great for like, it's just amazing. It's my gummy bears. Oh, you want some kind of fuzzy? I'm like, I don't even know what animal that is because it could be my bunny rabbit. It could be the dog's cat. All right, so it's fabulous to work out of because it'll just sit straight up like this. There's a little angel. So I cast on for my sister, Angie. If you're watching this, don't look. Actually, she probably knows what it looks like. This is the Breaking Plaid Cowl. Last year, I made the Breaking Plaid shawl for my niece. Well, my sister had also wanted that same thing, but in a cowl version, like an infinity scarf. And I did not have time to make that. I'm like, I'll just do hers next year. I got all the nieces and nephews done. So I went ahead and cast on hers. It's just they wanted a buffalo plaid color. It's like their favorite, like holiday kind of. So you can kind of see it coming out right here. This is double knitting. It's a double knitting pattern. So I learned double knitting in order to do this last year, which is what it was actually one of my goals for last year was to learn double knitting. It's if you've done brioche and mosaic knitting, not mosaic, brioche. No, it makes a lot of sense when you're doing it, even though instead of brioche doing one color, mosaic you're doing one color at a time. Double knitting, you're carrying 2, which I think one version of double knitting, you're carrying 1, just like brioche. But this one, you're carrying it both along the way. It makes sense because I've done brioche before. That's why it made more sense when I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's not too scary. But yeah, but it's nice and plush. I think I'm doing this in Ultra Wool DK. So it's nice and thick because I'm holding it double, so it's like, you know, worsted at least, Erin. The black color is cast iron and the red color is chili. Those 2 colors. And so here, I'll show you what it looks like in double knitting. So there's that way. So like this is black on this side and then red on that side. So you're knitting the front and the back at the same time. So I just cast it on. So so in the same pattern, they have a triangle scarf version. She's got basically a ton of different variation patterns in that one pattern that I purchased. Did I tell you what it was? It's the Breaking Plaid Cowl by Carissa Browning. It's just called Breaking Plaid by Carissa Browning. And in it, she's got a ton of different variations. And one of them was a cowl variation. So because my sister wanted an infinity scarf, she wanted to be able to like loop it up. I just doubled the length of cast on stitches. So instead to cast on a certain amount, I doubled it for an infinity cowl. I figured that means she can like just loop it twice. So yeah, I got a little chicken on there, whiskers and stitches. But yeah, so I've got that cast on, and the rows take forever, but because you're doing it widthwise, right? Or lengthwise or whatever. So I'm only going as tall as I want it to be wide. So I think I'm only going to do two pattern repeats. And I think that'll be thick enough. And a pattern repeat has 2 triangles tall. So it'll be like 4 diamonds. 2 diamonds tall, and like I'm almost halfway. And then it'll be like 4 diamonds tall. I think that'll be wide enough. So yeah, shouldn't be too bad. Okay, and then look at the inside of my gummy bear bag. Yeah, look at all. I mean, I've got these 2 yarns, leftovers from the shawl I made for my niece. I just cast on with that, and then I have the others, and I think I even have more. Yeah, I have a whole nother double set in my stash that I'm not sure I'll even need. And so when I open it, it's just so great to be able to work out of it. And there's even pockets in here. But I like to close it because I've got animals that like to take my knitting. Okay, then, oh, another one is a fun one. So this is probably going to be my day 3 or one of the days of my Ryan Back weekend thing. So I've switched it out because my friend Holly from Whiskers and Stitches last year, she brought, because she had a couple sweaters, but she brought like a really cute outfit and then a really cool cowl that she had made as her knitted item to wear. I'm like, oh, that's good now. And she wasn't hot like the rest of us. So I was like, that's a great idea. Why don't we just have like, and people did that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. So this year I think I might, I have cast on a shawl that I may or may not be wearing for one of the days. And it's still really cool. This is a Scrappy Angel Lorelei bag. It's like the same size as the Erin bag, but with handles, a wire frame, but no like faux fur bottom. And look, it's you know, oh my gosh, I forget everything. Hocus Pocus. Oh dear, I love this bag. Okay. I had my Hocus Pocus bag because this is a pattern I bought like years ago, and I already had the yarn. It's knit crate yarn. I had it all caked up and ready to go, and then never cast it on. I say cast on, but it's crochet. What do you call? You still call it cast on, right? Crochet? Start it, begin it. I say cast on. The yarn I'm using is more, that looks really red. It's a strawberry color. I guess that still looks strawberry, but it's more of a pinky strawberry color in real life. Ooh, that looks really orangey red. It's pink red. Okay, this is a knit crate yarn. Audine Wools. And it is the Audine Wool Psy DK, which is 85% merino wool and 15% cashmere, and it's colorway Ladybug. Okay, so I have one, and I have 2 skeins of this, and I have it to make the Memento Mori by Melody Martinez and Jarta Jasmine Designs, which is Boheme Fibers, and that's how I found this pattern because she had it hanging up in her booth. A dye yarn, Boheme Fibers. I think this way looks better. Oh my gosh, you guys! Isn't it cute? Very cool. Look at the skulls. Okay, so the one I saw that Boheme Fibers had in their booth was a white version of the shawl, and you walk by and you didn't even notice it. You walk back and you're like, oh my gosh, are those skulls? It was so cool. I'm like, I have to have that pattern. So the skulls go all the way up, so it's a triangle, all the way up the sides. I think I do 2 more skulls, right? And that's that's the shawl. I think that's how it is. And it's like, it'll just nothing in the middle, so it just keeps getting wider. Isn't that cool? And this is fun. This is like fun to cool because you can see the skull taking shape. Like I've already started. This is the bottom of the next round of skulls. And so it's fun. And all it is like what? Shell stitches in between, really? You do have to pay attention because just like no row is the same, basically. But it's so fun. Oh, and so I figured so it's very interesting and very cool to have for Rhinebeck, and I'll wear it like over like a black shirt or over like a black tank top or a white tank top, right? So you can definitely see the skulls, and it's very lightweight, so it wouldn't be hot. So I think I'm gonna wear this, and it's in October, Rhinebeck is, so it's very appropriate, right, for Halloween. Isn't this cool? So it's called Memento Mori. It'll be all linked down below. I love this so much. Okay, so that's using my H-hook 5mm. I just use my Susan Bates. I use whatever I have. Oh no, not Susan Bates, it's a boy. I use whatever I have. I like the metal hooks. I have all sorts of hooks. I also really like I don't have any of those other hooks. I think all I'm using today are these ones. Okay, so let me put that away. Oh, I like the inside of my focus. Isn't that cool? Okay, that was last year's. This was a part of her last year's Halloween collection. I don't know if she has any of these. She might have a couple of these left in her shop for this year because she just put out Scrappy Angel just put out her Halloween ones, and I got those to show you too because I'm using them. Okay, Memento Mori. Okay. My next one is also crochet. I'm almost done with whips, guys. Is in one of my new, this is also part of acquisitions. Another Aran bag from Scrappy Angel. And look at the bats. Okay, you guys, that gold is shiny sparkly. The silver moons are sparkly. The stars are kind of sparkly shiny. I mean, look at this. I have a coupon code, you guys. Go check out our shop. All right, so I decided I wanted to knit a scrappy blanket. Again, I know. You're saying, Kim, I just showed like 3. I know, I hear you. However, they're all like fingering weight, except for bits and bobs. But I mean, like, I wanted something that's going to be thick and will be faster to make than my Fisherman's Rib one that's taking forever. I wanted something thick. I wanted it scrappy, but I wanted to look like the color changes are on purpose. And I want it to be heavy, like a heavy blanket. Because I love heavy blankets. I don't know why I keep making these thin blankets. They're very pretty. And I do like them. I do use them. But I like a nice, heavy, cozy blanket. So I did a whole bunch of looking around. Because everyone's been doing like this granny square ones, which are cool. But I wanted it to be scrappy. But I wanted the color changes to look deliberate without me, which you can do that with the granny square. I didn't have to calculate rows and figure out exactly when to change, and no. I wanted to look purposeful without me having to think about it. See, so I was not having a good day like last week. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? So I found the Sunburst granny square pattern. And I based mine off of Mallory Crawl, and she has a whole like blog. And she has paid for patterns on Etsy, I believe, or somewhere, but then you can also get them for free on her blog. So I got it for free on her blog, the Sunburst Granny Square pattern, but I modded it because I wanted them bigger. Okay, where are the ones? Okay. Look. Okay. This is just one. So I'm holding my fingering weight scraps double. And all I've used so far are my Rowan minis. I have so many Rowan minis. I like canceled my subscription back in like winter, spring. Really, I just wanted to pause it, but I knew it'd be for a long time. So I fully plan on re-signing up for Rowan Minis Club because they're amazing. But I just had so many and I was like, it was overwhelming me. So I just need to pause it. But now I'm using a lot of them. So I'm holding them double. The Sunburst pattern calls for 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, and then this outer row. Well, I wanted to make the squares. I didn't want tiny squares. No more tiny square projects that take me forever. So this is a 6x6 square. That's not too bad. And I could have blocked it out bigger, but I wanted to keep it nice and plumpy, squishy. So I kept it at the 6x6. So what I did was, the mod I did was, this is row 1, row 2, row 3. I did row 4 the same as row 3. Everything is the same, except I added an extra pull through on the 4 double crochet cluster. So I really did 5 double crochet cluster, whatever it's called. So the same thing as here, I did an extra pull through, and it makes sense if you know the pattern, if you've read the pattern. And then everything else is the exact same. And I held a double, so it's DK weight. I think it's like worsted weight on the pattern, whatever. DK weight. And I blocked it out on my measuring mats. That like my measuring mats are like gridded, so it was really easy to be like 6x6 done. So here's the latest one I've done, and I'm just picking up my row 1 minis. I'm making whatever I want. This one gives me like a Caribbean island kind of vibe. And then I have these. This one. I'm just having so much fun playing with color. This was the first one. No, this was not the first one. This is like the third one. Oh, and this color is so pretty to knit with. This is Threadhead Knits Co. in her Dinner at Tiffany's colorway. I totally want to buy more of this color. Like, buy this color. It's so cool. It's got so many different colors in it. If you can see, it was so pretty, so fun to crochet. Did I say knit up? Crochet up? Oh my gosh, it's just so fun. So yes, it looks scrappy because they're all different, but it looks deliberate, like deliberate color changes because you're supposed to change color. That's why it's the Sunburst square. You're supposed to change color. Now, I got all these hanging out. They are all, I've crocheted, like, the only ends I weave in is the very last one, unless I miss one, but I crochet over my ends, so I don't even have to, like, weave in anything. I'm gonna trim it now that I've blocked it. Here was the first one I made, my demo. Isn't that cool? So again, these were all woven in. I just need to trim them. So yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. Done. And I just like cast on this crochet project like this week. It was this week. I'm having so much fun. And they don't take long to make. And I just throw a whole bunch of minis in here. And I basically just go through it and grab. I'm using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And I don't even know what brand it is. It doesn't even say. Some generic brand. I like the metal ones. I think I was taught, my grandma taught me on metal, like Susan Bates or whatever. So I gravitate towards those. But I really want to try a Furls crochet hook. I hear they're amazing. I just haven't bought one yet. But yeah. So I just like grab and go. And it's like, look, I have, like, this is already used one. Like I have leftovers of all of them. And so I can use them for different sections. Like obviously this section uses the least, right? And works his way out. I think this section uses the most compared to this section though. But yeah, it's so fun. And I think I've calculated, they're 6 inches. So 2 of them is a foot. So I think I want it to be 3 feet across, right? Maybe 4. Or 5. I want it to be 5 feet across. Anyways. But yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to order knit picks like Swish DK. And then not hold that double and just have DK as my connector and some kind of neutral color. I haven't quite decided yet. I think when I get more of the colors done, I'm trying not to have like a light, because I might do the dove heather or the squirrel heather, which is like a taupey color. And then, so I'm trying not to have any of these outer colors be like a light gray or a taupey color. I'll also have those colors in here if I have them. But yeah, I'm going to do that and have that be the connector. And then this is like the her Hogue or Huga Granny Square or Sunburst Square pattern. And she's got a really cool, Mallory has a really cool like border. I don't think I'm going to do that border. It's like a bobbly border, which looks really cool. However, my cats would attack that. And I'm sure I would just catch that on everything. So I'll probably do something different. Who knows? But go check out that. And it's just so fun. It's so fun. It's going by quickly already. And the last one, which I actually did not cast on yet. So I'm going to move that over because I thought I was going to. I have it all ready to go. I'm going to move that over to Dream Knitting because I am definitely going to cast that on. Okay. So yeah. Well, I should show this. Going right into acquisitions. Okay. So now we're in acquisitions. So everybody, we're done. I've like paused my video or restarted because for podcasters, it's easier to upload smaller segments. So anytime my dogs bark, I just stopped it and then restart it. And then it's easier to upload anyways. It's like a win-win. But I don't know how long it's been. That's really what I'm trying to tell you. So it could have been like an hour. I'm sure it's been like at least an hour. Okay. So acquisitions. I'll just get right into Scrappy Angel because I have one sitting right here. I had ordered this. We all saw from Scrappy Angel's updates. But I also ordered this. Oh my gosh. It's another Lorelei bag. Look at the sloths. This purple is gorgeous. I just love it. And look at the sloths. Oh my goodness. Are they all the same one? So cute. So I was like, I told her, I'm like, I definitely want these two patterns. I don't know which bags I want which. I'm like, I knew I wanted an Aran bag and I wanted another Lorelei bag. And then when she posted the ones after the makes, I saw the bat one with this faux fur black. I'm like, or faux leather black. And I was like, oh, I have to have that one in an Aran bag. This is so pretty. But then she brought me this little Notions pouch. It's a navy blue faux leather. It is so great. I have stuff in there. I have a little stitch marker in there. I'll show you how big it is. Like here's like these big scissors, which probably doesn't help. They're black. But this is a great Notions pouch. I like this. I usually like a triangle pouch, but then I'm like, oh, I like this better because it takes up less space in my smaller bags. And you can see everything right there. Isn't that cool? She's brought this over me. She's whipped this up for me to demo for her. I like demoing stuff because then I get the first little bit of all the new stuff. Isn't that cool? So I think she's going to have more use in the shop later. I love that. So I have that in here too with my crochet squares. Okay. Then, is that all for my Scrappy Angel that I show? I feel like I'm missing a bag. I have so many bags from her. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So then, what is next? Okay, my Yarnable, which is somewhere over there. So I'll get that in a second. Okay, so next is my Black Pearl Magic bag. So I was so excited. I pre-ordered this bag back in May or something. And then it was supposed to come in July. But then there was supply chain issues. She like, you know how it is right now. So we got them in August, and I love my bag. Look, I even got something in it. So this is just the blue sparkle one, the Laveau 2.0 bag. This is a big bag. I love, look at that zipper. I think this is what she was waiting on, the zippers. And then I had purchased this separately for a handle. And then, okay, so what I had got, which was so cute. So I also purchased, is it in here? Yes. I purchased one of these, the unicorn ones for a friend. And she actually sent me two, so I got to keep one. Probably because, just it took a while, but it wasn't her fault. So I have my this is the next project I thought I was going to have cast on, but I didn't. So I'll go back to that in a minute. But look at my new bag, you guys. I finally got one. You guys know. Oh, did you see like the metal on this? So cool. Okay. All right. And then I got my, Hey Country Creations is having a sale. And I'm really excited to see her, where's my other ones? I was really excited to see, I'm really excited to see because she's releasing Halloween stitch markers, and I kind of think I want to, when she releases those, I might order those too. Where's my other one? Because I have 3. I've ordered 3. All right, well, here's the first one. I got this gumball. If you guys saw me on Instagram, you saw. I got the gumball machine. Isn't that cute? So she does these woven bead stitch markers. Lisa. It doesn't capture it very well. It's a great gumball machine and not too big. And the beaded ones are super light, so you don't ever have to worry about that. It's really weird. Oh, there it is. Jeez. And then I got this little rubber ducky because I have a Jeep. Got the little rubber ducky. And then the other one I actually had on a project that I forgot to show you. It was on my Rosenlund top. Because it all kind of matched. I got the purple little Pac-Man. Isn't it cute? So I got those 3 from Lisa. And she shipped super fast. Like, it was here in a couple days. So that's really great. I think she's having another sale or something. Or she's releasing some new stuff. Go check her out. I have all that linked below. Then I pre-ordered, not pre-order, I ordered from, okay, so Bumblebee Acres was having one of their updates, and I usually miss out on their updates. And I missed out on the Stranger Things one twice. I really wanted the Stranger Things. It was awesome. She had 3 different versions. I wanted the original Stranger Things sock set. I missed it. It was sold out in like, what, 2-3 minutes the first time. Then they did another re-release, right? I'm like, okay, I gotta be on there this time. And I was on there, and then I missed out again. I was like, so then they were launching their Halloween line, and they had a Fear Street one. I'm like, Fear Street? Oh my gosh, I read all those books when I was younger. And I'm like, no, I just, like, spent money in Europe. I'm going to Rhinebeck. I don't need another sock set, really. So I didn't actually even, I actually got on, and I could have gotten it on the, like, I was on early enough. I was like, no, stop it, Kim, right? But then the very next day, she made like a little notice of how some things were still left in the shop. And I saw the Fear Street sock set was still in the shop. I'm like, this is fine. It's an apology for missing out on Stranger Things. I should just order it. And I did. So this is the Fear Street sock set on the Coquette sock base. I love the Coquette sock base. It is it's still fingering, but it's like a thicker, plumper. 75% superwash Corriedale. 25% nylon. It's so plump. And I love the thicker, like, Corriedale or whatever, like, Woolens and Nosh does that too, like the Tarji, any of those ones, because they make such, like, when you wear them, you can feel the cushion of the socks. They're so nice to wear. So I usually try and get and I noticed Bumblebee Acres, I love the way the colors come out and their Coquette sock base better. Like, I love it also on their normal base, but the Coquette sock base just pulls it in so nice. So look at all the colors. And this great, like looks more royal blue in person. And it's Fear Street and the Karmeni. Bumblebee Acres. They were at Rhinebeck last year, but they'll be there this year. Isn't that cool? Okay, so I got that. And I was almost like gonna buy something else, because I usually don't like to buy one skein of yarn because they can't travel alone. But I was like, stop it, Kim. It's just, technically they're not alone. There's 2, right? Okay. Then I told you about my acquisitions at my yarn store. However, I didn't tell you about, my yarn for my Vega cardigan. But I also got these cute little stitch markers, and Brooke was with me, so she wanted some crochet, because they're progress keepers, so they were for crochet as well. Our friend Linda makes these. So Brooke got the little kitty cats. She's like, this looks like my kitty cats, even though they don't have stripes, but whatever. And then she also got the avocado, which we both got one of the avocados, because look at the cute avocado. So we got 2 of the avocados, and then I also got another little rubber ducky for my Jeep. Even though I'm using it on my knitting. I don't think it's really focusing. Oh well. But aren't those cute? So we got those. And then my lock knits bag. Okay, so hardly any yarn. One from my Vega because I ran out. This one, it just was a sign. And that's it. Really? No more yarn. I'm so proud of myself. I mean, I did go to Europe and went right back. So, but okay, so Lock Knits. She has a podcast with her and Moon. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I put it right here. Anyways, they have a podcast. And Lock Knits said she's a tattoo artist now. She does so many great things. Anyways, but she was making some bags, some little bags. And I saw this posted. I'm like, I have to have this little tiny sock bag. Look at this. I saw she had 2 denim ones, like denim pocket ones. And I'm like, I need this. This one was bedazzled. I love it. And then the inside sold it for me. Look. My grandma loved pansies. Aren't those so pretty? So it's small, like a 1 skein sock project. Or even like a small shawl, I guess the beginnings of like a something. But like a 1 skein sock, which is perfect. This cute little, you know, you can carry it around. This one's like great for like going out someplace, so you want it to look like more like a bag, or I might even just use it as a handbag sometimes, because isn't this so cute, like a trendy little handbag? This is cute. And look, the pocket's even real. You can use the pocket. And then she sent some cool stickers. We got this sticker and this sticker and even a postcard. So yeah, that was really sweet. I love. Go check out their podcast too. It's really fun. All right, I think that's it for my acquisitions. So not a ton, but mostly bags. Because, I mean, to be fair, my Black Pearl Magic bag was a pre-order from like May. And that's all. Oh, wait, I have to show you my Yarnable. Okay, so I just had to grab my Yarnable. They're coming in bags now. All right, so this is the August Yarnable. My September one's coming like it might be here tomorrow or something. But I of course have not showed you my August one, which I really like. Okay. So the August Yarnable is Straighten Your Crown. It's brought to you by Tropical Fruit Salad, Suntan Lotion, and Lazy Weekends at the Beach. And so the yarn is in here. This is a monthly yarn subscription with a bunch of goodies. Look at that. It's not quite that bright in person. It looks really neon-y. It's not that neon-y. It's like a nice sunshine yellow. The green's not even that bright. Okay, that's fine. Very pretty. Straighten Your Crown. Plush sock, which is so soft. Probably make some socks for Brooke. She loved, her favorite color is yellow, if you didn't get that by the sunflower. And then it comes with goodies. And I love, it comes with a little card that tells you all about the goodies. You get a little discount code you can scratch off to use for that month. Then order something from her shop. So it's Yarnable Box by Hypnotic Yarn. Cheryl from Hypnotic Yarn does the Yarnable boxes. Out of all, I mean, I've had quite a few subscription boxes so far. This one has the best extras that I've seen, like consistently. You know what I'm saying? I want to try the Arkansas Yarn Co. subscription box. It's kind of newish. I just want to try it. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. So they got some goat's milk soap in pineapple. Isn't it cute? Because it looks like a popsicle. Looks just like a popsicle. And it smells so good. Goat's milk soap, pineapple. And it's from the Grecian Soap Company. Then there's hot and cold eye pads from Prep Obsessed. Love these. And then pineapple wool wash by Soak. Pineapple Grove. Isn't that nice? And everything like goes together and matches. I love it. So these will be cranked on my Earlblocker Speedster. Probably relatively soon for Brooke. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know if you can see this, but like, can you not see? No, right here is where I'm starting to get a hole from my Yarnable from cranking all of my, and up here was another hole of yarn. Like this was packed, and now I'm like, just to see a little bit of a hole where I've taken yarn out and used it. It's so nice. Because I've got all this yarn from Europe, but I can't even put it in here. So I need to make holes. Okay. So that was my Yarnable. I'm really excited for September. All the goodies. They always come in these great bags. I always keep these and reuse them for other things. I like them. Okay, now that's it for acquisitions. All right, so dream knitting. So let's go back to my Black Pearl Magic bag. This was one of the things I had grabbed because I've had this in my stash. I bought it for a project. I bought yarn for the half and half triangle wrap by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern. A while ago, and I just hadn't. I'm like, I knew like in the future I would cast it on. I'm using Isager, the Alpaca 2. Because like they have it on their what's that? Because Pearl Soho wants it on their linen quill, and so I looked up yarn that was similar to linen quill because I heard linen quill might be scratchy. It's not super expensive, but I didn't really want to order a bunch of it from Pearl Soho and then it get here and be scratchy, and something would be around my neck, and I don't want anything scratchy on my neck. So Isager was a comparable one, and is at my yarn store, so I got to go feel it, and it is so soft because it is 50% alpaca and 50% wool. So this is my first color. This color is probably just like, I don't know, is it undyed? Color E2S. It looks just like undyed or yak colored, you know, but there's no yak in it. So it's probably undyed or like a taupey color. And then I only, because I was like, you know, that's another huge project that will take forever, right? But it did look kind of soothing. People keep talking about how it's soothing to knit. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to cast it on and just see if it's like, if I really want to knit on it right now. And if not, I'll just put it away and then pick it up later eventually because I have the yarn for it. And I definitely want to have the product. So I only wound up one skein. I was going to work on this color first. That was my thing. And then if I kept going, then I would end up the other skeins. These are 50-gram skeins, as I believe. Yeah, 50-gram skeins. My other color, I think I have it right here. No, right here. Yes. So my other color for my other half of my triangle is this color. It's like a purple, plummy, like a dark, yeah, it's more purple in person. Isager Alpaca 2. This color is 52. Yeah, this is undyed. That's why this looks different. Ecoline undyed. This is the same because it's 50% alpaca, 50% wool, but it's dyed, so it's a color. So these are my two colors, half and half. I'm like, I'm gonna start with this color, and so I didn't want to take the time to wind all that up if I wasn't even gonna work on it right now. I got stuff falling out everywhere. This is what happens when you open the yarn cap. Okay, so that's what I plan on casting on in here. This will fit that whole triangle wrap for like at least a while. This bag. All right, and then another one. I still want to cast on streamers. I was thinking about the streamers cardigan, which I did. I got the new book, which I did not bring down. I totally forgot. No, I showed it last time. The Pom Pom magazine that has the streamers sweater in it. It's a sideways construction of like stripes going long up and down and sideways. Garter stripes. I was gonna that might be one of my sweaters for Ryan Beck, but it looked easy enough because it was garter stripes. However, this is when it takes more into consideration because normally I do not pay attention to my row gauge as much because I'm like, I'll just knit longer or shorter, not a big deal. Well, when it's going sideways, it definitely makes a big difference because it has to be how wide it is. So I was like, you know, it's gonna take a lot of like monitoring, and I don't know if I'll be ready to do that, have it done before Rhinebeck. Also, do I want to wear a sweater? It's fingering, no, it's DK weight. So I was gonna do fingering weight held double. It's not too warm, but kind of it was hot last year. I'm just traumatized by that, like sweating. And when you're in the buildings and it's crowded, it's even more hot. But it is outdoors, so there's some movement of breeze, and it is northern New York, but it was still hot. And also, this year it's going to be even more packed, I hear. Like, more like how it normally is. Last year it was a little less because it wasn't quite up to, it was like this first year back since COVID, and people still weren't going, but it was still crowded. but I hear it gets like 20 times worse. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so hot. That's what I'm thinking. So now I'm thinking, I definitely want to make the streamer sweater, but I think I'll wait. I have the yarn. I'm just using purely stash from that, like scraps. And then Brooke's sweater. I have the Mondrian pullover by 2 of Wands. I have the yarn kit I bought from Lion Brand. I have all of that ready to go, and it's a chunky weight sweater. It would go by super fast, and it's fun because it's like color blocks, right? And she really wants that sweater, and so I really want to start that, but that's like a super chunky sweater. She's not wearing that until November at the earliest, if not end of December, right? I live in Virginia, so it's going to be a minute. So I definitely will start that soon, though. That'll be fun. And yeah, I think that's all that I'm thinking of right now. And then basically ripping out 2 of my projects and restarting them. It's really all it is. Podcasts. I've been getting back into podcasts again, just watching getting caught up on all my favorites. I did just do a search today of like trying to find new ones. So I have a whole bunch added to my save for later. And so hopefully I'll have new recommendations next time. Watching and reading. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. So Samaritan, have you guys seen this? Sylvester Stallone is in like a whole bunch of new movies. I knew there was this new movie coming out, like here pretty soon. And then we saw something on Prime, Amazon Prime. Like, oh, a new movie and with Sylvester Stallone. I'm like, oh, let's watch the preview. I think it's the one I was already thinking of. It was like a superhero movie he's in. You have to go check him out. How old is he? And he's still like super amazing. I can't even believe that. So it's a really good movie. Go check out Samaritan on Amazon Prime if you have it. With the new like Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings prequel, like prequel. So prequel of The Hobbit, or is it Lord of the Rings prequel of The Hobbit? It's even before those two, and it's a TV series, and that's coming out I think today at 9 o'clock at night, which we're not watching it tonight. Probably this weekend we'll start it, my husband and I. Let's see what else. I've been watching a ton of stuff, and I just can't think of it. I've been really into horror movies lately, even like the oldies but goodies. Probably gearing up for Halloween. I feel a fall coming. But yeah, I don't remember. I know I've been doing a lot of knitting, a lot of just relaxing, a lot of, well, because we've been like crazy around here with getting the kids ready for school and getting Neilan off to college, and Brooke now drives though, so I don't have to worry about that, which is weird. So the first time your kids, like you don't have to take your kid or pick your kid up from school, it's weird. Very life-changing, obviously, but weird because I've been literally doing that since like, for how many years? Like starting with the first kid, who's now a junior in college. I don't know, it's weird. It's very, so now I find myself doing stuff, so I feel, the firstborns really don't, I just feel bad for that. I was a firstborn. So like, cause like now I'm like, I don't have to get up early. So I like, and I want to make sure Brooke eats lunch cause she just won't eat. And I'm like, so I make her a sandwich, I put it in the fridge, or like her little drink, I get her lunch bag ready. Did I do that for my son? No. Like, because I was still, I was working full time at the time. And also I had like the 2 kids, and I'm like, poor guy. I apologize to him all the time. Like, I am so sorry. I apologize with him for like teaching him to drive too. So I had no time to teach him. So I mean, I had time, but not as much time as I wanted to, not as much patience as I wanted to. So I always apologize to him. Like, I'm really sorry because I'm giving your sister a whole lot more attention than I gave to you at the time. He's like, it's okay, Mom. He's so sweet and laid back. But yeah, I feel bad because he didn't get that. I'm like hand making her little sandwiches and little notes. I mean, I did that for all the kids like when they were younger, but not Neilan's senior year. I didn't do that. But yeah, so now I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. But yes, I'm going to Rhinebeck with Scrappy Angel, with Whiskers and Stitches Holly. It's gonna be so fun. I got like a very last slot, and like I'm staying like I'm like bringing my air mattress. Like it's gonna be so fun. We're all riding up together. It's just gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm just really looking forward to it. And having a girls trip, because last year it was so fun. It was like a nice girls trip. It's really cool if you can go on a girls trip or just a friends trip, but with people who enjoy knitting. So when there's people who are as passionate about as you are as a hop from one of your hobbies, It's so much fun because you can sit there and talk about yarn and knitting all day and no one gets tired of it. And because like I talk to my family about it all the time, yarn and knitting, and they like act, oh, cool, but you know, they don't really understand or care. But they like they pretend. But these people like really care, and everyone's really excited about it, and it's so fun. And Rhinebeck is so fun. If you ever can go to Rhinebeck, you should, because like just being in an area where everybody is super into the same thing you love. I mean, you're walking by and people are like hand winding skeins they just bought to knit up right away. I mean, like it's really cool. And see these really cool, like eccentric sweaters with like these great colors, and it's just so fun. See, like, and everybody's happy. There was no one's mean or rude, or everyone's happy, just really happy to be there, and it's just a really great experience. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. So if you're going, let me know. Comment down below if you're going, if I'll see you there. Let me know if you're going to Woolen Folk as well. That's going to be really fun. Indian Tangled was great. This is a little bit of a different setup. It's like, I think it's like noon to 7. They're going to have live music and food, and so you can stay as long as you want or whatever. And that's a lot of fun. Like, so more of a like shop, but then hang out. Like, which Indian Tangled does have that, but this is more of that kind of atmosphere, which is great. That'll be something different, fun to try. But yeah, go ahead and let me know if you guys are going, or what you guys are going to be up to the next couple months. Are you starting a gift knit? I just started one because I did not want to panic because I knew this one would take me a long time. I plan on that being really my only gift knit, maybe something for my mom. Probably anybody else that's getting gift knits is probably going to be socks off the sock machine, because that way it's great because I can practice all different things. But yeah. And then, I'm probably going to, definitely going, because Brooke really wants to go to Shenandoah Fiber Festival at the end of September. So if you're going to that, let me know. It's here in Virginia. Brooke really wants to go because she's not going to Rhinebeck, and she really wants to go to Shenandoah. She likes it there. And so we're going to go to that one as well. And I saw they have classes this year, and I was like, should I take a spinning class? I do want to do weaving as well. But should I do spinning? Because I don't know how to spin yet, and I have all the stuff. I'm like, this would be a great time to at least do like the drop spindle class. So I may sign up. I need to look and see when those are like, I think it's just until they're full, right? So I may do that, and that's like a Friday. And that's like not even like less than an hour for me. So I can totally do that, like drive over there for the day. And yeah, so I might do like a drop spindle class. I should. Because it'll probably take a couple classes for me to really get it. And so that'll be fun. Maybe I'll do that. And I almost forgot to mention, my husband and I are going to a concert. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I don't know why I tell you that. I don't know when it's going to post. Hopefully this will post this weekend-ish. Like say September 1st. So we're going Saturday the 10th. We're going to go see Five Finger Death Punch. Totally metal band. My husband, like one of his favorites. And he doesn't look like a metal guy. I definitely don't look like a metal girl. I actually Googled, what do I wear to a metal concert? I should just ask my friend Lorelai, which I did. I'm like, because she goes to metal concerts. And so he wanted like Five Finger Death Punch t-shirts. We got that off Amazon. I'm like, we'll buy some there, of course. Because he's always wanting to see them in concert. And then they're coming. So we got tickets, and he's so excited. He's like, oh, I need a sweatshirt too in case it gets chilly. I'm like, that guy never gets chilly, but okay, he can have a sweatshirt. So I'm like, oh, I'll get a t-shirt too. So we got t-shirts, and I even got like colored hair strips. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna add like colored hair strips to my hair. I'm gonna be totally like overthinking this. It's gonna be so much fun. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Hopefully it's not too crazy of a crowd. He did get in the little like VIP section, which it's not like, the VIP section isn't like, it's not the tables, so it's totally different. We're at Jiffy Lube Live here in Virginia. It's not like a box or anything. It's like a area that has cushioned seats, a little bit more leg room, and they can bring you your drinks. That's the only difference. And at first I was like, that's like $100 difference. And he's like, they bring you your drinks. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Cause you don't want to get up and leave in the middle of a concert. It's kind of annoying. I'm like, oh, they'll bring us our drinks? Cool, okay. So let you know how that goes. It should be a lot of fun. Might be crazy. Hopefully Damon loves it, because he's just really excited to go. So I'm excited for him. So we're going to have some fun. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. But yeah, I don't plan on being that, I don't know why I say this. I don't plan on being gone that long for the next episode. Hopefully Brooke will be with me for the next one. No guarantees. That girl is busy right now. She's taking like 3 AP classes and an 8th period at home class for economics. Like, she's taking an online course, like an extra on top of her full schedule of AP classes. I'm like, girlfriend, and all the clubs that she does. I'm like, don't stress out, you know, she'll be okay. But, you know, she's just got a lot going on and trying to, you know, fit in friends and hanging out and having fun, enjoying her junior year of high school. So yeah, so hopefully she'll be with me the next time. If not, it'll just be me showing you hopefully all of the progress on all the whips I just showed you. Probably not, probably just some, but definitely a lot more faux. All right, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!